Good morning, everybody. It's me, Mitch. Welcome to Morning Coffee with Mitch, and let's get started here. So, drink it if you got it. Today my cup says, I'm not arguing, I'm just explaining why I'm right. Oh, wow. Wow. I have had a very active past couple of days, and I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it this morning. My God, I just think I overdid it. I enjoyed every minute of the thing, but I overdid it. 2 days in a row at the Brazilian steakhouse. Tuesday with Mike Seeley and his father celebrating their birthdays, and yesterday our meetup at the Brazilian steakhouse, and couple hours in the cigar lounge afterwards. It was great. It was great. I want to tell you about it this morning. We got a lot of pictures and all that. I don't think I'm going to actually try to make a standalone video. It's just so much work, but I think I'll share the event with you over the course of today and maybe tomorrow's live stream. And talk about it, because I think just about anybody from which this might have some meaning or interest is here in our community. I do not think it'd be worth all the work to edit it out, because I really don't think most of the world would be interested in what turned out to be about 10 people showed up, which was a little disappointing in some respects, but what a time we had, and I don't think anybody regrets coming. But it wasn't the kind of thing like a convention that warrants the making of a video. I didn't have a cameraman or a crew with me. I was disappointed in the way some of the footage I shot. Just had my camera sitting there. But I want to share what I do have with you, because it was great. And we'll talk some more about that in a minute. I want to try to start right off on these things now. I think it's a better idea for me just to say hi to the people and the early birds, to get that out of the way, and then to get into the different discussions, because, well, I just always get so far behind in the chat. It would be nice if I had somebody aggregating all the questions first, so I didn't have to go search for it. But that would take a lot of the joy of me doing these live streams for me, because I get such a kick out of kind of immersing myself in the conversations that you guys are having while I'm going on about this, that, or the other thing. So, fortunately, YouTube did not screw us out of the last night's chats, and the first one in was Lori. Hi, sweetie. Lori White. So how you doing? Was in at 8:53. I didn't post it till about that time. I'm glad I didn't forget to do it at all. Smoothie 421 chimed in last night. Rick Charger Mopar, good to see you. Wayne Herman chimed in last night. And my guest in North Carolina. Peter evidently got home safe. Looking forward to tomorrow's show, he said. And Lady June, as usual, from Great Britain, chimed in and said good morning. Me, Cool Cat, evidently from Pakistan. Good morning, Mitch. Yesterday I missed the live stream. Going to try to make it today. Ask me, how was the meetup? I'm going to tell you. And Mike Silly Sr., who had about as far to get home as I did from the meetup, he's here in Melbourne, Florida, chimed in. That was at this morning. Oh, we're already up and at him. But Rick chimed in this morning. Jem, how you doing, Jem, from California? 5 a.m. here. Feral Grandma, Wendy's here. How you doing? Rick is back again, and Claudia Burkick chimed in. This is Coquito Simple. Good morning. Good morning. How are you? Not one of our usual early birds, but good to see some newer faces in here finally. Good to see you. Bacon Baby is here. How you doing, Bacon Baby? At 8:24, Laurie Weissel chimed in. It's going to be a perfect day. I woke up for the perfect time for Coffee with Mitch. I'm ready to take the first sip. You can't argue with that. It's perfect. I got up early this morning. I watched some of Kilt's, but I had a lot to do, so I went off and started to work. And here we are, retired Rick 824. And everybody's saying hi to everybody already. And Gary at No Slows with us. How you doing, Gary? 8:25 p.m. Tina Schweikerath chimed in. Who else is new? Aaron Booby Goats chimed in at 8:26. Sneaking up on it. Everybody's already heavily conversating here. Okay, Meetups chimed in 8:27. I'm trying to find a new one. Jerry Voitish. Good morning from Ponte Vedra Beach. Such a good time yesterday. Thank you. No, thank you, Jerry. Thank you for coming. It was really, really great. And there was, well, I'll tell you about it later. Let me get through this. I go off. Deviate. Feral Grandma's here. I finally got YouTube to admit that Turabir has a channel so I can subscribe. That's cool. And we up to 8:30 yet? No, same people, all talking to each other. Lori and Lady June. And Lawyer Witzel was 8:29. And today's winner, believe it or not, from across the pond, Lady June, congratulations. You hit it exactly at 8:30. Gary, you were a millisecond slow on the switch this morning. Laurie at 8:30. Rick, Brian Dish was here. Rick again. Michael Pregler, how you doing, Michael? Good to see you at 8:30. A beautiful sunrise. We had a nice one here, although we're supposed to have, when they call this a weather event day, and heavy thunderstorms. And tomorrow's going to be worse. I think it's going to put quite a damper on a lot of the fireworks at night. I'm not going to lose any sleep over that. And I mean that literally. Because I usually do lose sleep over that. Marla at 8:30, how you doing? And Feral Grandma, Wendy again, Bacon Baby, 8:30, Aaron, Don Shonger, Sharon McCabe, Scotter, Rick again. Peter's here with us. Good morning, Peter. Claudia Burkick, 8:30. Keto Simple even joined in the fun. I'm crazy. I drink my coffee black for so long. I started doing butter. and now I'm doing butter and heavy cream. Holy cow. You know, we keep putting so much crap in the coffee, although that's good for you. pretty soon we could leave the coffee the hell out of it and we never even miss it. Not me. Black. Black, baby. Black. Any more 8:30s? Yeah, Lori was here again at 8:30. Smoothie 420. How you doing? Good to see you. Lori Weitzel. Lori, were you the one that sent me that? God, that stuff gets lost in history, but one of you guys sent me that cup, and I could probably go back and look it up, but I hadn't thought of it. I wish I could remember everything. I can't blame it on anything other than normal memory. Hopefully mine is better than most of a guy my age. But if whoever sent me that cup, if you're in here, put it in the chat, put some QQQs in front of it so I'll notice it, so I can thank you properly. I know I thanked you all over the place when you sent it to me, but I get a little pissed off at myself when I can't remember little things like that. But then who can remember everything when you've got the transaction load hitting me every day from all of this and all the comments and all the people? It just has to become a blur. I try, though. Still at 8:30. OldGuyCarnivore, we have similar setups. Oh, Keto Symbol. Okay, well, I'll have to go check out your channel. Very good. Very good. Jem was here at 8:30, and that was it. And then at 8:31, bringing in the beginning of the show, which, you know, somebody said yesterday, I got to stop doing this, looking up at the wall clock. Well, have it. Today, I actually went and put my clock, a little desk clock, right here. That's it. I can look at that clock, and you'd never even know I was looking at that clock. And what did I just do? What did I just do? Look up at the wall. Have it. Just a force of habit. It's great for my, it keeps my neck from getting stiff. It's nice to have a little exercise once in a while, but I do have a clock in front of me now that's easy to read without having to look at the tiny little clock on the computer. But Tanya, good morning. How are you? You did wake up just in time, and I think that was the beginning of the rush. Jerry says to Lori, it was great to see Mitch live and in person. He is doing so well. Yeah, you would have got a kick out of me there. When I got up, I had to walk to the men's room. Everybody was all congregated, standing around, and I just yelled out, "Look out, cripple coming!" And everybody parted ways from it. That was great. Lizzie's here. Good morning. Good morning. Melissa B's with us. How you doing? How you doing? Max D has chimed in. That's great. That's great. And Peter is commenting on yesterday. We had a great time yesterday at Mitch's meetup in Melbourne, Florida. Saw Dr. Kilt, Dr. Nelson, United Carnivores. Love you. Wife for the stats. So, Peter, you just summarized everything that I was going to tell everybody, but I'm going to tell them anyway. And then we went to the cigar lounge. It was fun. It was fun. And a great time, and God, you could feel, honest to God, you could feel love in that room and respect. That's the amazing thing. The amazing thing about this community is the way we feel about each other. I don't know if that's because we're carnivores and maybe our brains work differently, being well fed, or just a caliber and quality of the kind of people that find this, whatever it is, there really is something special. And it transcends consciousness. You just feel it instinctually. You know you're around good, caring people. You know it. Nobody has to tell you. You don't even have to think about it. You feel, you actually feel. And it brings a lot of comfort and happiness. It's amazing. I would love to have one of these a week. It's a little impractical, but just getting together with you guys. I imagine it's kind of similar to the feeling that people get when they go to church on Sunday and They're just immersed in other people that are so much like them that the old survival instincts of fear and trepidation aren't there. And the only thing there are feelings of comfort and safety. And that's what we felt yesterday. It was a wonderful thing, and same thing that happened the last time. And every time I've gone to one of these meetups or one of these big convention type things. All right, I think I got about everybody that's here. I don't see any new names. I'm up to all the way up to 8:33. I want to get on and talk about it. I've got a bunch of lists. Peter wants me to say this. He put QQQs. The 10 people who came to your meetup were all superstars. So great quality. Yes. Yeah. Quality is greater than quantity. Well, I heard Kilt this morning on his live stream was talking about the meetup that our meetup that he came to yesterday. And he said, he asked Alia, how many people does it take to make a meetup? And the answer was 2. And Mike Sealy's right here in Melbourne, and I said to him yesterday, Mike, we don't need a meetup to do this. You want to go to lunch someday? Because you eat at the Brazilian steakhouse all the time. Give me a call. Now, nobody lets me pay for my lunch during these meetups, but I said, well, give me a call, and I'll pay for my own damn lunch. But, I'd love to once in a while get together, just get out of the house and come have lunch with you. And what better place to have lunch than a meat orgy? It's crazy. So that's, I'm talking about Mike Silly Sr., father of United Carnivore. Francine Bourgeois here. How you doing, Francine? Good to see you. And Peter's just raving about it. And for any of you to think that I in some way have anything or dislike Peter or don't love the guy, you should have seen us yesterday. He understands when I bust on him. I only bust on my friends. Sometimes he annoys me. And I just tell everybody, but I don't care how great a marriage you have. There are times when your wife or your husband annoys you too. That's just normal. Nobody can love everything about anybody, but Peter's got a big heart and a good soul. And maybe, I found out yesterday, the fastest typist in the world when it comes to chat. He's got to be. He told me he does not use voice typing. Can you imagine? And he doesn't make mistakes. How do you do that, Peter? That's crazy. But man, I was impressed. I was very, very impressed. Okay. And Peter's continuing to talk about it. I'll just take the day off and read Peter's chats. Let me see. Let me get the old Cliff Notes out here. Let's see what we got on for today. It says here, meetup pictures. Well, let me not cheat myself out of something I have to do every day. There's the link to my Buy Me a Coffee, and that's the last you'll hear about that, if you're so inclined. I do have another, not a commercial announcement, but something I think you'll be interested in, and I'll get to that after we talk about the meetup stuff. In case you haven't heard yet, we had a meetup yesterday. And here we are. This is the crew that showed up. And it wasn't a huge crew, but some very, very important people were there. Well, first of all, I was there. And I could have stood up, but the way they all started gathering around behind me, I would have probably blocked some. So I stayed sitting down, and the fellow on the left is named Mike, and he is Kilt's pilot. Although Kilt flies his jet himself, you don't have a jet or own a jet like that without having a pilot, because especially if you're busy. So it's always much safer. In fact, I still think that flying a jet like that single pilot is not as safe as it could be. So great guy. I talked to him a little bit about aviation. You all know this guy, Dr. Nelson Vasquez. He came over and he had to drive about an hour and a half to get here, and he showed up. There's Mike Silly Sr., lives in Melbourne. It seems like Mike was the name of the day, because standing up there in the background, this good-looking guy who may resemble me a little bit is my son Michael. And he had a ball. He had a great time. Behind me is Isa. That's Mike Sealy Jr.'s wife. The only female present. Typical. And up here is Mike Sealy. Mike Sealy was wearing his Mitch Fits t-shirt, and I was wearing my original Take the Rest of the Day Off t-shirt. And you know this guy over here, Kiltsy, a real spark plug, man. I'm going to tell you, the man's got energy and a half. Then, if you remember, Kiltsy had interviewed Dom, who happened to live in Melbourne. So Dom was the tallest of the crew, even taller than my 6'3" son. He came with us. Nice guy. Sat next to him. We got a chance to talk. It's Peter hiding behind Jerry. And there's Jerry Voitish. And that was the crowd. That was the crowd that came to the meetup. And I have, if I go back in my inbox, all these pictures that people send me. What I'm gonna do is maybe flash through a few of them. They're stills. And a lot of them were just selfies. There's Kilt and Nelson. There's Kilt and my son Mike. There's Kilt and me. Somebody might think that Kiltsy was hugging all the selfies. There's a picture that Jerry, when we were all done and ready to head for the cigar lounge, walked me out to my car, and he said, "Can I take a selfie?" I said, "Sure." So there we are, standing up outside. He took that picture of me, and that was I thought a great picture, a great picture. I don't think I look like Death Warmed Over, do I? Which is how some of the opposition always seems to describe me. It should look like Death Warmed Over. I don't think so. I keep trying to see how somebody would see that. Then I've concluded that they just want to be mean. Okay, be mean. Let me quick see if what other photos we got here. This is a photo of the table. There's Peter looking up towards the head of the table. I'm sitting up there. These are just some random photos. It was just a lunch. There wasn't a whole lot of activity or anything. We had a great time. They served us a ton of meat. It wasn't the kind of event that would have made a spellbinding cinema event. There was our picture. Everybody, the waitress took that picture, and there is Kiltsy and Jerry Voitish wearing his Old Guy Carnivore t-shirt. It did my heart good, I got to tell you guys. It just, I came home, I was beat, exhausted from everything in the day and the energy levels that I'm stuck with while I cover. But I was on cloud 9. I wish all of you could have been there. Bill Goog says he usually skips it. Yeah, these things are mostly, it's like somebody's family movies. You know, everybody wants you to see their family movies and their kids playing and splashing in the pool. Nobody cares. They'll watch a minute or two and they'll go, "Oh God, beautiful kid, beautiful kid." I got a whole slew of pictures that were texted to me last night from Kilt. And here it is here. And I haven't transferred them to my computer yet, so I can't show you on the screen. But I thought you'd get a kick out of this one. I'm going to try to show it to you. I'm going to try to show it to you on the phone. Yeah, you can see it. He sent me that one last night, along with a slew of pictures that he took at the meetup, and I will get them on the computer and make a little quick slideshow, maybe tomorrow. But he flew, that's his grandson, his first grandson, and Jilly, and he flew up to Trenton, New Jersey, from here. What he had to go, the extra effort that he put in to get here between the Boston meetup last weekend and being down in Florida and having to be up in Syracuse tomorrow, or today rather, and wanted to stop and see his grandson in outside of Philadelphia in Trenton, New Jersey. And he and his pilot had to do all that flying. The weather sucked. Thunderstorms were coming. The effort that he made to get here, there's nothing in it for him, nothing in it other than the joy of being with us. Certainly no money, no promotional value, no thousands of people we didn't know who might be potential patients later on. No, he's a good man. And same thing with Nelson. He didn't need to drive an hour and a half to be here. Everybody so appreciated their coming, especially me. And then last night, right before I was going to bed, I got a text from Kilt with all these pictures and a great compliment about the meetup. He bought a copy of my book on Amazon and brought it for me to sign. My signatures are still look like a 3-year-old grabbed a crayon, but it was my signature, and he's reading it. He's about a third of the way through it now. I don't know where he finds time to do everything. The guy amazes me. So I really enjoyed that, and I'll show you some of his pictures tomorrow. I may not follow the chat too much because I want to talk about yesterday and everything, and I do want to show you this. I don't know if you'll be interested in it, but I just thought you'd like to see this. This is. Let me get this set up here, and let me get it to the point where I want to start it. It's a video. Where is it? Give me. Bear with me. Not that long, but I want to. There we go. Okay. Right here. This is when I pulled up to the parking lot in the mall. It was early, and I found the parking spot fairly close, but not that close. And you have to realize that just this walk, for me lately, is a long walk. But I had the video, and I thought I'd share this with you. You can see that the sky is already building up. And I was wondering, I kept looking to see if anybody was there before me, because this was like... Oh, look at this. Look at this. They couldn't even hear me, these guys, when I said, look at this. Look at this. The early birds. And there's Jerry and Peter. You don't need to stand up for me. Huh? You don't need to stand up for me. Oh, yeah. How you doing?
It's great to see you.
Jerry. How you doing?
Hey, Mitch, you're looking good, Mitch.
Oh, thank you, Peter.
You look the same as I remember you.
As good as I can look.
You look the same as I remember
With
you.
a walker.
Well, other than this, yeah, and otherwise you look good.
Well, I'm filming this too.
Oh, good.
I had the selfie stick with the camera
I'll turn it
velcroed to the walker.
over here in my little entrance, and you guys have to be here to give me something to have in the picture. So we'll start filming again later.
Perfect.
So that was my arrival at the meetup, and we'll talk about that more later. But I thought you might like to see that video. I just this morning got it off the 360 camera and did a little editing and didn't do any noise reduction on it or anything like that. And I decided, there's really not enough here to make a compelling video. So I'm just going to talk about it. We'll talk about it tonight on the live stream for the private community at 7 o'clock Thursday night. Be there. I posted the video. It's up. If you want to type in the chat, it's open for you. I'm looking at the comments. I don't see anybody commenting at all. Oh, Gemma says, Mitch walking great. Thank you. Smoothie says, dang, Mitch walking almost looks normal. Remarkable. Thank you so much. But when I walk without the walker or without any support, and I did quite a bit of that. I did a lot of that yesterday. I'm still very slow and very cautious. But when I got the walker, there's just that little added confidence of something to hold on to. The legs work fine. The strength is in my legs. It's almost entirely a balance thing. And I've resigned myself to the fact that might take up to a year to really resolve, because it's such a, like I've said before, such a fine motor skill. Such a fine motor skill. All right, again. Oh, somebody did buy me a coffee. Let's see who that is. Jerry. Jerry is the most generous guy. He came yesterday with a whole bundle of cigars. Thank you so much. Kiltsy came with a box of these Carnivore bars. I've never tried them, and he gave me a box of 6 of those. And lest any of you think that that's a present that's, kind of like, well, so what? I looked up on the website. A box of 6 of those things cost $96. Now, I'm sure they gave it to him as a sample, but still, $96, $16 a bar. Now, it's supposed to be a meal replacement, but it's only got 400 calories, mostly fat. I've never tried one. I may try one maybe for a second meal if I'm not incredibly hungry. I guess you could eat a half of them. They supposedly have a shelf life that they've proven already over about 25 years. Not refrigerated, so survival food. It's great, but holy cow. You can buy them in a box of 50 and it's $300 and something. Now, I spent $300 yesterday and probably spent just as much or more per meal than those bars. My son, I left the cigar shop and went home. He left the cigar shop a little early and went to Sam's Club for me with my credit card in hand. And I said, spend $300-$400. I need ribeyes, and I don't trust the people that pick these things for the delivery to find the best ones. Well, $308 is what he spent, and I got home and there were 18 ribeyes in my refrigerator. So that's expensive too. 18 ribeyes for $300 or 50 of the Carnivore bars really brings the price down on those things. I think it was 50. But I got 18 gorgeous ribeyes, and today, one of my projects is going to be to individually vacuum seal them and freeze them. I haven't been eating many steaks because of the chewing and the cutting, but as everybody witnessed yesterday, I'm getting right back to those knife skills. I have no problem cutting meat or anything anymore. The strength in my hand and arm is great. I can not be hazardous to everybody's health waving a knife around. So I'm going to be eating more steak again. So he found me some gorgeous ribeyes. And speaking of vacuum sealers, that was a slightly, and it's not a crash commercial thing at all. It's something that I just, that about the only company I have any kind of relationship with is WeVac that makes the vacuum sealers. As far as I'm concerned, it's one of the handiest, best tools I ever had. I was fortunate enough to not have to pay for it because they're not cheap. They have two different models, the CM10 and the CM12, and they're like $300 and $400 or $450 respectively. They give a 15% discount to any of my viewers, and a lot of you have bought them, and I've never heard a complaint. So, and I've been using mine, and the ability to vacuum seal anything, especially in a chamber vacuum sealer, is fabulous. The problem with so many of these things is that the bags are just so expensive, and WeVac's got the best bags, and their prices are a small percentage because they sell most of this stuff to commercial restaurants, people like that. Their bags come in big cardboard colored boxes instead of retail boxes with all the printing. There's no marketing involved. It's just bulk bags. And they're the best bags I've seen, from the specs on them, from all of the PUFA free and all the other PFAS, rather. They got initials for everything. There's just no chemicals worth worrying about in these plastic bags. You don't boil things when you sous vide in them. The temperature is relatively low, almost low enough to stick your hand in the water. So they're very, very safe, which answers a question most people did. But they came up with something new. And I get an email from them about a week ago, and it says, we have come up with, and what they came up with was this. It's a rolled bag. But they came up with this little gizmo that sticks in it, this plastic thing that sticks in there, and it has a cutter on it. Now, I'm pushing the wrong thing. There it is. It has a cutter. Yeah, come on, Mitch. You're not set up for, this is not the Home Shopping Club. Sorry, folks. But this thing slides back and forth. You take the bag, you lay it across, you zip it, and it cuts it. Now, I have rolled bags, but I hated the fact that I always had to get out the scissors and cut them. And then you want to cut them straight because you want them to seal them straight. Well, this thing does it. And she said to me, you want to, we got a promotion coming up, 15% off on these things. They're cheap enough to start with. Do you want to let your people know? I said, yeah, sure, why not? So she sent me a box of these, and a box of these has either 2 huge rolls or 6 of these smaller rolls, 3 of the long ones and 3 a little shorter. That's a lot of bags. And it ends up costing, when you buy it, and each box comes with another one of these cutters, it's like $20. And I said, yeah, sure. So they're a little screwed up. They're a little screwed up on their promotion. I want to explain that to you. But if you're interested in these, if you got a vacuum sealer and you buy a lot of bags, these are pretty neat. These are pretty neat. Let me go and show you this. Okay, on my website, links to stuff I use every day. Kitchen and small appliances. Go down to the bottom of this section, and there's the 2 WeVac CV. I said CM. It's CV12 and CV10. Those have a 15% discount always, anytime. And those, when you click the link, you go to the WeVac site. And the WeVac site says, right off the bat, it says, enjoy 15% off. And you apply the discount. Okay. But this is different because all their consumables, they sell through Amazon. So they have the two different packages. One of them has the two big rolls, that one here, and this one has three of each size of the smaller rolls. They come in this big gray box. They come with one of these things, which you transfer, of course. You could live forever with one of these things. And when you go to Amazon, it will tell you right up top, save 15% on eligible items. That's a special deal because of the link. Now, this is not my Amazon link. This is only a link for this. So anything else you might buy from this link doesn't help me a bit. If you go through any of my normal things, I get paid for it, but they don't pay me for anything else you buy. But you do get the 15% off, and you'll see it in checkout. So when you click on the thing, they already have a 10% discount for everybody, but you get an additional 15%, and it's applied in checkout. So you get a total of 25% off of these things. And there's a lot of bags there, I got to tell you, if you like the rolled bags, because you can cut them to size. The only downside of a rolled bag is you have to seal it twice. You had to seal it twice. I like to cut bags myself in the box, but I end up, of course, only needing a bag half as long for the average steak, but I don't care. It's easier. With this thing, maybe I'll use the rolls and cut them and make more bags out of this, but I just didn't want to have to cut from the rolls with the scissors because it just gets all crooked, especially with my right arm not working the way it is. So this is out there. It's on my website. Links to stuff I use. Right under the WeVac things. These are the bags, 200 counts, and you will get a 15% discount always on that. Now, the reason I wanted to tell you about this was the confusion. The current promotion that gives you the extra 15% off ends on July 7th. That's like 4 days from now. I got an email from them this morning saying that a new promotion is starting on July 12th and going through August 15th. So if you need these things in a hurry, you can get them now and get the discount. If you don't need them in a hurry, but you want to just buy them and have them in hand or something like that, wait till, buy them now or wait till after the 12th and the discount will be back. But I wouldn't buy them, knowing that you got basically only 5 days without the discount. Don't ask me why they had to make that so convoluted. That's convoluted to me. It makes it awful hard on people trying to point some of their viewers to their products because they're good. But this is what they did. And like I said, it's the only company that I have any kind of relationship with it. I don't want to call them a sponsor. They don't sponsor my channel at all. I just think their products are great, and they give a discount to my viewers, and I figured, why not? But I don't... The convoluted nature of some of what you got to go through to deal with these people, they're in China. When you get an email from them, it's always at 5 o'clock in the morning because of the time difference. I don't bother with all these companies. I'm getting 2 or 3 offers a day now, usually to sell something to you that has absolutely nothing whatsoever to do with our lifestyle and our style of eating. Okay, I think I covered it all. Let me see if I have anything else on my list. Everybody. Oh, yeah. I got an email this morning. These are like public service announcement. I got an email this morning from, let me bring it up. I got an email from Sandy. You tell me how to pronounce it. Sandy Lavety, Hlavatty. And Sandy tells me, hey, Mitch, did you see Wright's Bacon is on sale at Sam's Club, $2 off a 4-pound package. Well, not a lot. And it gets the price down to around $20 for the 4-pound package because it has been creeping up steadily and had been running around $22, $23. It is $2 off. It's good for about a month from now. The trend in pricing is such that I don't expect it to drop to about $15 for 4 pounds anymore. No more than I expect ribeye to go back to $9.99 a pound. This stuff just keeps going up, and I'm afraid it's going to keep going up. That's just a fact of life. The good news is we don't eat a ton of it, and compared to the cost of eating out, even at McDonald's, we can eat like kings and eat the best stuff for actually less money a month, less money than what the average person spends on food, who eats out all the time and gets their coffee at Starbucks every morning for $5 with all the crap in it. So that's it. Just wanted to bring you all up to date on some of that. Don't know whether it meant anything to you or not, but I hope it did. The meetup was great. My thank yous to everybody that came. We'll do it again in a few months, maybe. We can't overdo it. The turnout for these things, it's so hard. It's not a long event. It's a couple hours. We enjoyed a cigar smoke. The funny thing was, Nelson came along with us to the cigar shop. He didn't smoke a cigar, but he didn't have to smoke a cigar. We decided that he really did. There was so much cigar smoke around him that he may as well have been smoking a cigar, but he enjoyed that with us. He enjoyed that. We had 6 people. 6 people there at the cigar shop in the cigar lounge, all sitting in comfortable recliners. Places got smoke eaters, so it doesn't really get that smoky. Unfortunately, when you leave there, your clothes reek of it, but that's part of the experience, I guess. But it takes you back to an earlier time when that's what people did. They had a great meal, and they retired to the smoking room in their mansion, and they got out the cigars and the after dinner drinks, the brandies, the port wines. But we didn't do the drinks, but we sat around and had a cigar and good conversation. And I finally got home at 4:00 in the afternoon. 4:00. Peter and Jerry got home later because they each had a 3-hour or so drive. So I'm glad everybody was safe. Okay, I'm gonna look for questions in the chat. I would like to get to all of those. I see MK is here. MK, how are you, MK? Down to 127.3. That 0.3 is so important. Lower than my lowest. Wow, 5 minutes ago. Strict carnivore at 72. Optimally feeding my body. Yes, ma'am. Okay. Okay. I love that name. Where you been? You have been conspicuous by your absence. Although I don't know if you're still here because I'm all the way up to 838 in the chat. But I had a lot to talk about, and I can't just, if I have things to talk about, I hope that's entertaining too. Lady June tells me she's going to protect her prize, collect her prize. I'll collect my prize later. Okay, thank you, June. Thank you. Questions. Retired Rick, C to Q's, Mitch. My cholesterol HDL ratio was 5.67, and my cholesterol, this is your total cholesterol, was 244. What does that mean, good or bad, or good or bad? It doesn't mean anything, really. Too much emphasis is put on the effects of any of these cholesterol numbers. I don't think many of them. You do want the not the total cholesterol, but the HDL to triglycerides ratio is probably the most important. That ratio really doesn't tell me very much. Was your total cholesterol 244 or was your LDL 244? That's relatively low. My total cholesterol is 500 and something, and I'm very happy about that. But my HDL is high, my triglycerides are low. So that question, it doesn't mean good or bad. It's just what it is and what your body needs. If you think you're doing the right thing in everything else that you're doing, and you're eating the right diet, and not eating the plants and the sugars, your cholesterol will do what it's going to do, and that's where your body needs it. And just be happy about that. I doubt you could have ever found a caveman who could tell you what his ratio was. I think we put Kilt's the same way. We talked about that yesterday. He has no idea what most of his numbers are. He could care less. And I'm kind of with him on that. There are those, then there's the other camp that says, oh, you have to know because you have to. And my reason for saying, I don't care. I don't want to know. My reason may sound childish and it may sound brilliant. It depends on your point of view. I'm doing everything in a natural way with a minimum of interference, conscious interference in the form of pills and drugs and supplements and things. I'd keep that at the bare minimum to let my body do what it knows how to do. I can't do anything more than that, other than start loading up on all of these supplements and end up taking 20, 50 pills a day on somebody else's agenda and sales pitch. There might be some science, there might not be. Most of the nutrition science we get is junk science. It's garbage on both sides. There are no studies that are meaningful. There are people who know, whose bodies know how to live optimally because that's programmed into us, survival. Our bodies wouldn't make something that's poisonous to us unless we don't have proper nutrition. So even proper nutrition is up for debate. We think we have proper nutrition. We have the results to show it. But you go and debate that with one of these liberal vegans. Not only are you heating up the earth with climate change, killing all the very cute little animals, you're a cannibal, you're a horrible person, you need to be put to death. Here, let me throw this bucket load of blood on you. That it's crazy. It's crazy. Everybody's got their own opinion, usually formed from untruths. So how do you find out? So with all the noise out there and all the bad information, along with whatever small amount of good information there is, gets lost in the noise. And I say, reboot. Hit the default. And the default for us is to let your own intelligence and body and programming and chemistry do what it's been doing for hundreds of millions of years. And God, stay out of it if you can. So these people that spend all their lives in a laboratory getting tests and numbers and this and that, and so they know what drugs to take, that gave us modern medicine, which is a travesty, and we're all going to die. I'm 78 years old. I'd be happy to live to 100, and if I don't, I won't. But I would probably kill myself much faster following all the advice that they're giving, basically to sell things, make money, and hook you up into a lifelong job of visiting doctors and labs and pharmacies, and it's terrible. I'd rather be dead than live a life like that, watching my brain drift away into some form of dementia or other. So, as long as I feel sharp, as long as I can come on here every morning and somehow manage to juggle this and keep it going for an hour and a half, and remember what I remember, and think the way I think, and my brain is healthy, I have to figure that I'm doing things right. Otherwise, I would be drifting off into dementia land. And the stroke was an outlier. It happened because I bought into their nonsense for decades, and suffered terribly for it, and did damage to my body. And unfortunately, those of us that are older, and even the younger kids, who wouldn't even think about carnivore because they're immortal now, they can eat, drink and eat and do anything they want. It can't hurt them. Well, wait till they get to be 50 or 60. And they're all paying the price, and they're all dying younger. So don't worry about the numbers. And I'm passionate about that. Retired Rick says is calculated at 171. Yeah, your doctor is going to freak out about that. Mine is double what yours is, Rick. But my HDL is 80. So you have to take all of it in context. And the most important test that might actually tell you if you're at risk, and even then, if you're doing everything you can do already, there's nothing else you can do except take a statin, which I don't think does any good, and I think actually does some harm, because the theory about lowering your cholesterol, I don't think is sound. It's based on Ansel Keys, and that's bullshit. So, my opinion, not medical advice. The key word in that is calculated. They do not measure cholesterol. I say this over and over, and nobody gets it through their head. They don't measure cholesterol. They measure LDL, a lipoprotein that's a vehicle, like a submarine, that carries non-fat soluble cholesterol and many other fat soluble vitamins and things through the blood. How do you know what percentage of what you got in that LDL is cholesterol and not vitamin A, vitamin D, triglycerides? How do you know it? Are they assuming it's all cholesterol? It's not. Cholesterol is only one cargo. I could do the same thing. If I had a fleet of FedEx trucks and every truck was carrying a little bit of, let's say, Amazon packages, but also the FedEx truck was carrying a large percentage of packages that were not Amazon packages. Now, I could look on the street, and if I pick out a particular Amex truck, maybe that guy loaded up at the Amazon depot, and maybe he's got 100% of his cargo is Amazon packages. Maybe the truck that follows him right down the road after him has no Amazon packages because it went to a different place and loaded up with a whole different kind of thing. And I want to know the total weight of the Amazon packages. And the only thing I do is weigh the trucks. I don't weigh their cargo. I weigh the trucks. How would I know how much Amazon is in them until I look? And a blood test does not separate the LDL from all the other cargo. And you have no idea how much. That's why they say calculated, because they try to come up with an average that fits everybody, and it doesn't. And it tells you absolutely, as far as I'm concerned, nothing. It's a convoluted method. And then it behooved them, because of the money involved, to demonize it so. It became the basis for every decision made in our health care. Even the fact that they blamed my stroke on high LDL, which probably had nothing to do with it. But they're confident in that because it's in their Bible. It's in their dogma and their doctrine, and the rules that govern their licensing and everything else is in the medical standards that they're required. But who wrote these things? And is there any validity to any of it? So I would rather say, you know what, I think I stand a better chance just trusting the physiology that I have, the programming that runs it, is doing a hell of a job for eons. And in the last 100 years, we think we've outsmarted it. It's all about odds anyway, because that's all they talk about. When they talk about these cholesterol numbers, it'll raise your chance of having a heart attack by 0.01, by 1%, by 2%. So you're the guy with the worst numbers, according to them, and they're telling you, well, it might double your chance of having a heart attack. Yeah, from 0.1% to 0.2%. That's, again, brings in another fraud, statistics and relative risk. So we dwell so much on those numbers, and I should buy stock in Quest Labs, and I would tell you how much I appreciate your support. Enough of that. But I'm not a doctor, Rick. I'm not a doctor. They didn't teach me in medical school to eat healthy fruits and vegetables and don't eat meat. They didn't teach me that, so I haven't gone to medical school and become a doctor to learn. It's a PhD in propaganda. That's what a medical degree is these days. It's outrageous. It's outrageous. And I could be wrong. Could be wrong about everything. I may be killing myself, but I don't think so. That's why I don't tell people, do what I say. I show you what I'm doing. If you want to do it or you want to believe what I say, this is my take on it. I think it's a take from common sense, and I have been exposed to an awful lot of the detail about how these tests are done and what to look for and how they've been arranged, and the studies too. That's why most of the most educated doctors in our space don't take any of these studies seriously. How can you take a study seriously from Harvard University, from Walter Willett, a militant vegan who's in charge of their research? How can you take a study seriously when they come out and tell you red meat causes diabetes, not sugar? You can't make this up. They did it. How can you take this seriously when Tufts University comes out with a nutritional study, the Food Compass, and they tell you that on a scale of 1 to 10, ranking breakfast foods, Lucky Charms is a 9, and a fried egg and butter is a 1. How can anybody take this seriously and still consider these universities credible? It boggles the mind. It absolutely boggles the mind. And we keep railing about it every day, and yet we still worry about our numbers based on their bullshit and what they consider normal. You think the American human being is in the normal range of healthy? healthy in this country today, especially as you get older. All young people can be healthy, but when you get to be 50, 60, 70, the number of truly healthy people is probably less than 1%. Medical community loves that. That's the reality. That's the reality of it. Graceful Lily got here. Yeah, how you doing, Lily? A little late. Not that late because that was only 8:40 something. I say I'm going to look for questions, but what do I do? Retired Rick, do you see my question? I did, Rick. Yeah, it just took me 3 years to get to it. Let me look. What time is it? I almost looked up at the wall, but I got the clock right here in front of me. 9:35. I'm already over the hour. Wow. I'm going to hurry through the thing. Try to find questions. My problem is this. I'm not quite Anthony Chafee in the 40-minute answer to a question, but I kind of drift that way. You know, you ask Anthony a question, he wants to make sure you understand the answer. I've seen him take almost an hour to answer a question. CB Carmick says, how did they fit all that greatness in the room yesterday? Boy, isn't that a great question? CB, the only way it could have been greater would have been to have you there as well. Thank you for the compliment. That's very nice. Everybody was there, was great. Everybody who's a carnivore, all of you were great. I mean, I've been thinking about that. Why is it so great to be among these people? Is it because they're smart enough to know that carnivore makes sense? Or does the carnivore diet actually make physiological changes in us and change our temperament, our stress levels, and our attitudes, and make us just generally feel better overall? It could be either of those or a combination of both. Melissa those Carnivore bars are crazy expensive. I don't see myself ever buying one. Well, I've never bought one. If I was the kind of guy at my age and after my stroke who spent all day on hiking trails, or I was working full time and found myself and busy and traveling and found myself wanting to know where the hell am I going to get a meal, I think that would make sense. It can't be cheap to make. I'm not saying they're outrageously priced, but when you got something that will actually has nutrition in it to replace it, now I'm going to sound like a commercial, and replace the nutrition for you, and you have to buy them in quantity, but you get the cost down to $5 or $6 a bar. It's basically a meal like a pound of burger. Its advantages are you can take it with you. It might be a good idea for somebody just starting carnivore who travels a lot and always finds themselves out in the wilderness looking for a restaurant where they can eat without poisoning themselves. This would be a great thing. But for somebody who cooks at home all the time, like me, who needs it? Who needs it? I don't snack anyway, and it's not a snack. Believe me, this is not supposed to be a snack. So I'll taste them. Maybe I'll have one for my second meal today and see. Oh, it's 700. Barry Simon says 700. That makes more sense. 750. That's $14 a piece. Yeah, they're expensive, Barry. So are ribeyes. I mean, I spent $300 yesterday for 18 ribeyes. And unless you're not in a position where you can have the ribeye, like I said, if you find yourself traveling all the time, stuck in airports, stay a lot in hotels, barns in cities, traveling in cities, somebody like Kilt, who's always out there, would probably benefit from these. But then again, Somebody like most of us could say, like I did when I went to that convention 2 years ago. I said, aren't you worried about being able to find food? I said, who cares? I'll fast for a day or 2 days. We know we're eating the right diet because in that respect, we're living like the cavemen did, with an uncertain food supply. We have the ability, when properly nourished, to go without food. Once you're going without sugar already, your body's working the way it's supposed to. You stored fat. You got energy you can get to. You don't need that sugar fix every 2 hours. You don't panic when you're in the highway, when you ate up the last of your Doritos and you don't see another convenience store for 10 minutes. How are you going to survive? That's not a joke. That's true. I've been there. Holy cow, you mean to tell me I got to go for 20 minutes before I find another 7-Eleven? You know, they talk about range anxiety being something that people that are running out of gas and electric cars suffer. How many people have sugar anxiety when they're driving? Everybody. You go on the road, you look around you, and everybody's eating. They're constantly eating. They get to the point where they eat one meal a day. How much? I only eat one meal a day. Yeah, from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. nonstop. But it's only one meal a day. Does that make me a carnivore? Keto Simple says that it's 50 is $700, and the texture is so strange. It's creamy and crunchy all the time. I gotta try these things. But if there's a taste, it's salty. The one he gave me was the salty one. So is it a delicious taste, or is it just like, oh God, I need to get this in me because I need the nutrition? Can't imagine it would taste bad. Who the hell would pay $700 for a box of these things if they tasted bad on top of everything else? I can imagine it's not sweet. I'm going to approach it with great trepidation. But maybe I'll do it today. Let you know tomorrow. Thank you, baby. Says, I don't eat bars. Well, I don't eat bars either because just about virtually every bar is garbage. All the so-called healthy things. The protein bars, they're candy bars. They're candy bars with the protein excuse, but it's candy. People aren't eating them for the protein. That's self-delusion again. Carnivores are processed. They're really not processed. They're associated with a farm. They get these supposedly the best cows in the world. They use that beef and make these things. Of course, they do have a certain process, but the ingredients are cleaner than clean. I don't think anybody can say they would hurt you or there's nothing good about them. I think they're all good, and that's probably the reason they're so expensive. They box them up. Wow, the way they package them and wrap them and everything is elegant, and I'm sure that costs a lot of money too. I think the odds of me getting through this whole chat are probably dwindling as we progress here. But I'm having a good time, and I need to take it easy today. I need to rest most of the day. I feel it. I just overdid it the past couple of days. SLC says, hi, Mitch. Is there a restaurant near you where you could get a good carnivore meal? Yeah, Ed, we were at last couple of days, the Brazilian steakhouse. They use meat and salt. That's it. Every kind of steak. We had picanha, skirt steak. We had ribeye, sirloin, more picanha, more ribeye. They have in the restaurant many side dishes. We ate none of them. They got a huge salad bar. We ate none of that. There was some obligatory smoked salmon, which I ate some of, but I passed on the salami, and there was some slices of cheese, which qualify as carnivore, but I ate some. But they bring you so much meat, it just keeps coming. These guys come around carrying skewers in one hand, a knife in the other hand. They just hack you off a piece. You got a little pair of tweezers in your hand. They cut it almost all the way, and you reach up and you grab it with your tweezers, and then they cut it the rest of the way, and you put it on your plate. And you end up turning them down more than you eat. They give you a little card on the table. It's green when you want meat, and you turn it over, and it's red when you had enough meat. And we just ate and ate. I got news for you. Nobody left that place hungry. My second alternative for a restaurant is where I eat lunch with my son. Any barbecue restaurant, Sonny's, like that. You will have to put up with a little bit of carbs in the rubs they use, but you stay away from the sauces. We found that probably the cleanest in Sonny's is to order a pound of the brisket. Just get a pound of it. Tell them, give it to you towards the fatty end. That way you'll get plenty of fat with it. And not nearly the rub that you're going to get on some other things. And we get smoked chicken wings, plain. And my son and I eat an order of wings and a pound of brisket and have a beautiful lunch. And I've never felt any ill effects from it. There's certainly not enough sugar in there to have ever left me thinking about, I'd like to have some ice cream. So it doesn't trigger my addictions at all. And it's a great lunch. Any place where they sell meat, as long as you make sure they don't cook it in something like seed oil terribly, can generally make you, if you're out and about and you want to eat, you can go to McDonald's and order patties, quarter-pound patties off their a la carte menu. And they give them to you in a little styrofoam thing. And you want a pound of hamburger, you get 4 of them. It costs you about $6, $8. Just not that bad. It's almost what it costs raw these days. And so many people can live on that. I could live on nothing but eating hamburger patties. I would be happy and wouldn't even feel deprived. That's what carnivore does to you. It's a good question. So there are restaurants everywhere, but you got to know what you're doing. Got to know what you're doing. Lori says, "Can we get a quack quack?" Oh, Lori, how could I have missed? Sorry, Rick. I'll not only give you a quack quack, I will give you the cacophony of quacks. Okay, guy. How's that? Did that satisfy your quack cravings for the day? Oh, Rick, thanks a lot, man. Look what you've done. I don't know if Rick is still here. I'm not paying that much. I can't pay that much attention to the chat today. You notice when Kilt does a live stream, he doesn't pay attention to the chat. He's got Alia there. He doesn't have to deal with this. Alia aggregates the questions for him. So when he gets to the questions, she got them all lined up. Doesn't have to search for them. He used to chat with the users himself, but very rarely does that now because you can't. You just can't. I keep trying. Ed said, "Hi, Mitch." Cholesterol 150, LDL 82, HDL 43. Triglycerides 150. All right, according to Hoyle, 56 years old, carnivore. Today, a coworker brought a box of Dunkin' Donuts to the office. She wants to go. So, yeah, okay. Keep going, Ed. You're not there yet. You're not there yet. Your cholesterol, in my opinion, is almost too low compared to your triglycerides. Your ratio of triglycerides to HDL is 158 to 43. You got a ways to go. Your numbers aren't bad. Your doctor would love those numbers. Your doctor will tell you you're the healthiest person in the world. I'm not saying you're not, but you want that triglycerides. If you want your HDL above 60, you want your triglycerides below 100. The other numbers are all superfluous. It looks to me like maybe they got you on a statin. I can't tell you yes or no, but you're not doing. I don't think you're doing yourself any favors if you take a statin, unless you qualify as one of the few people that really need to take a statin. And I don't even think I do, even after a stroke, because I don't think the statin would do anything but harm to me and deprive my brain of the cholesterol it needs to rebuild. Why would I want to take a drug that takes away from my brain the one thing it most needs? Because that's what it's made of, cholesterol. And then they, along with taking away your cholesterol for your brain, they tell you, go on a low-fat diet and eat sugar. And they say, that'll heal your stroke faster? Who the hell are these people? They have no critical thinking whatsoever. They're sheep. They're sheep. It's worse than a religion to these people, this cholesterol nonsense. But not bad, but I don't think, Ed, you've been a carnivore maybe long. I don't know anything about you, but maybe not long enough. But you're probably on the right track. The most important thing is make sure you get the proper nutrition and let the rest take care of itself, and tell your doctor, basically, your job is not to demand I do something. Your job is to suggest and give me a valid reason why. I've heard the suggestion. The one thing missing is the valid reason. Not the dogma, but the science. Can you show me the studies? And then any study shows you, if you know anything, you can immediately pick apart. You can immediately pick apart and say, well, the study is bogus because look who paid for it. Look at how they gather their data. Survey forms. How many pieces of cherry pie did you eat in the past 5 years? And that's how they decide. And then investigate the experiment itself. The one from Harvard I talked about yesterday, and you've all heard this. They're claiming that red meat causes diabetes. Once you looked into how they did the study, how they got the information, and then the fact that anybody that ate at McDonald's, they counted that as red meat, as somebody who ate red meat. Well, you ate at McDonald's. They didn't count the 300 grams of sugar you got every time you ate that little tiny, thin, skinny hamburger patty. You didn't count the bun, the sauce, the milkshake, the French fries. No, he ate at McDonald's. We'll count him as meat. Well, of course they say meat causes diabetes. What kind of study is that? What kind of minds can actually, with a straight face, put that information out into the world and affect people to do things that affect their health based on those decisions? Those people are mass murderers, all of them. They need to be called out. We're trying like hell, but there's no money in that message, so nobody's getting it. So, therefore, I rant. And the more you rant, and the more you realize, the more conviction you have about what you're doing and that it's right. And the less likely you are to be tempted by everybody telling you you're doing it wrong and you need to be eating sugar, by the advertisements, by the medical community and this wonder drug and that wonder drug. We don't need any of their crap. Any of it. Not their advice, not their products. We need to do what the cavemen did. We need to eat meat and fat, and a lot of fat. And keep giving them the middle finger. If they get mean and the doctor fires, you say, you're fired. Go to hell. You got to be mad. I mean, I like all the positivity. It's great. The positivity is great. Being happy all the time and excited is great. But you got to get a little bit angry at what they've done to you and what they've done to your relatives to cause all this suffering. I'm angry. They killed my parents. My kids are hooked like crazy. They damn near killed me. I've managed to escape it just by my sheer willpower to not buy into that crap. And even then, they got me pretty close in that hospital, re-addicting me to sugar and listening to every one of them scold me and lecture me about how my cholesterol was too high and how I have to take the statin and I got to do this and I got to do that. I got out of there alive, got over the crap that they were trying to feed me and re-addicted me to, back on carnivore, and I'm recovering tremendously. And the one thing I haven't lost, although there may be some debate about this, is my mind. I haven't lost my mind. And so many people my age, if they're not dead already, are gone mentally. It's gone. It's sad. I live in a community of retired people. Just about everyone in here that's over at the age of 65 is on the way out now. Very sick. Taking 15 drugs, diabetes, heart disease. It's so sad. So sad. Should be middle age, basically. But we're too far gone for that. And I'm not getting through this chat. Here's another question. Stevie Carmack, have you missed my question earlier? How did they fit all the great? Yeah, I saw that. Thanks, Stevie. I'm sorry, I'm so far behind you guys. I spoil you guys. I manage somehow, usually every day, to get through it. I'm almost at 10 o'clock already. And that's okay. That's okay. I'll be back tomorrow. Talk about some more. I'm at 9:41. Yeah, okay, I am catching up. Harry Dion came in. Yeah. Hi, Harry. Good morning, Mitch and all. Good to see you. I see. Retired Rick bought me a coffee. Thank you, Rick. And so Jerry Voitich, retired Rick, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Always nice. Barry says, Mitch, carnivore bars are very satisfying. I'm glad to hear that. I was hoping they are. I just don't know if I really have a use for them because I stay at home and cook all the time. I very rarely go out, and I don't travel now. It may be handy when I finally recovered from this stroke, and I haven't taken a trip in so long. Last trip I took was basically to a meetup in Sarasota, and there was plenty of meat there. And Kilt's in February. But I'm sure they're a good product. I have no doubt about it. They never approached me to want to advertise for them, but the rest, maybe they think I'm just a raving nut. Element never approached me either. I may be the only carnivore on the planet that hasn't been approached to be the sponsor, so they can become a sponsor. Everybody's quacking in the chat. What time? 9:50. Yes. The end is in sight. Looking for the questions. I haven't been stopping to read the chats, but I get an hour and a half in today. Retired Rick says, thanks. You're welcome. I hope that my little ranting has made some sense. And I did it. And Lori is at the bottom of the chat right now. Well, not anymore, but you are our raving nut Mitch, and we love you. Thank you, Lori. Thank you so much. And Sharon McCabe comes in and says cookies. What? Must be something in the conversation that's going on. I don't know where that came. But at any rate, my friends, I hope you enjoyed it this morning. I hope you enjoyed hearing about our meetup. Me reiterating some of my common sense opinions about the rest of the world, wrong, right, or otherwise. At least they're my opinions, and I have them. AMP says, Mitch, we love you, but go rest. Rick says, I'm addicted to morning coffee. Thank you, Rick. Thank you so much. And I tell you what, I don't know. Next time we have a meetup, we're going to come down to Miami and kidnap you. Because I'm afraid that's what it's going to take. And bring you up here. You would have had a ball yesterday. You would have had a ball. So, everybody, little happy music. There we go. Must start the day with some happy music. Even with all the ranting and the opinions and the attitude of disgust and things that I express, I'm happy. I'm happy with my life. I'm happy with my position in life now. You guys, this community, this discovery of a way to beat the odds that are so much stacked against us. Nobody says, Mitch, are you going to shoot fireworks for us tomorrow? You know, I'm going to have to do something. I know I am. I don't know if I'm going to get a video of fireworks going off or something, but get fireworks in my backdrop. Maybe my head will just explode. I don't know. We'll see. Oh, wow. So everybody, say goodbye to everybody else and have a great and fabulous day. Eat the stuff we love. Keto Simple says, I'm glad I caught the live. It was great. Thank you. You're welcome, my friend. Come on back anytime. We do this every morning except Saturday. Then we turn it over to Rick, Milton, and the Ducks. And he does as many hours on Saturday as I do all week. And there goes the music. Have a great day, everyone, says Smoothie. Everybody said goodbye. Okay, we can go now. Take the rest of the day off. I am, and I mean it. And eat meat.